Now I want to look at inverse functions, what they are, and how we go about solving for them in most cases. So what's the idea of an inverse function? Well, the idea is that it's going to undo whatever a function did to some variable. Right? So the function does an operation, the inverse function should undo that and give me the input back from the output. I have a function f, the inverse function should undo that operation. So the inverse function should be a function, f inverse, written normally this way, so that if f of x equals y for any numbers x and y, then f inverse of y will give me back x. How do we go about finding these? Well, the main idea is I want to take this expression here and try to just rearrange it so it looks like this. Or another way that most people think about this is they want to swap x and y and then solve for y. Because what that does is basically interchange x and y here. So I put a y in here and an x over here. And I'm going to solve for y, which is going to give me exactly this expression back with a y here and an x inside the function here. So swap x and y, and then solve for y. You can just solve for x. That would also do the job as well. But the letters are different, and sometimes people don't like seeing x as a function of y. That looks kind of weird sometimes. But swap x and y, and then solve for y. In terms of the graph, if you try to draw this out and look at what you're looking at here, you're basically swapping the values of x and y in the graph. So what that means is that the graph of f inverse is the graph of f reflected across the line y equals x. Because that's what happens when you swap the two variables, you swap x and y, you flip over the line y equals x. Now let's look at an example of how to find this. So I want to find the inverse of this function here, y equals 3x minus 2 over x plus 1. What I can do is just swap x and y, so I will say x equals 3y minus 2 over y plus 1, and now I want to solve out for y. So let's move the denominator to the other side. Xy plus x, distributing the x, equals 3y minus 2. I'm going to solve for y. Let's put all the terms with y on one side and the x is on the other. So I will get xy minus 3y equals negative 2 minus x. I can factor out a y here. X minus 3 equals minus 2 minus x, and then divide by x minus 3. Or you could rewrite this if you wanted as 2 plus x over 3 minus x by moving a minus sign through. That would also work. So your inverse function here is this. That's how you go about solving for an inverse function and what it does to numbers and why it works as an inverse function in that case.